Well, that's right. We saw an editorial today in China Daily, which is a government-backed English language newspaper, and it accused foreign forces, as you mentioned, of wreaking havoc in Hong Kong, basically being responsible for this protest and damaging the credibility of China. Now, interestingly enough, this editorial did not mention exactly who these foreign forces are, but it's not difficult to imagine that China, the editorial was referring to countries such as the United States, or perhaps other Western countries who have been really hoping for the democratic transformation of China over the past few decades, which has not happened. Politicians in the U.S. today have been very vocal, very critical of the lack of democratic process, the lack of democratic rights in China. They've called out, for example, the treatment of the Muslim Uyghur population in the Northwest. They've called out the silencing of any talk referring to the Tiananmen Square crackdown of 1989. And of course, China now is really embroiled in a tense trade war conflict with the United States. So the relationship is not going so well there. But really, the editorial was trying to focus on, and similarly, they, quite surprisingly, maybe, making similar comments to what Carrie Lam was saying. She said that this law is important for upholding the judicial process in Hong Kong, and China is very much taking that line. This is what the editorial was saying. And it was also saying, look, that this editorial wanted to convince people that China has Hong Kong's best interests in mind, and more importantly, that the people of Hong Kong are on board with this. And I think Carrie Lam was trying to do the same in her statement, although, as we can see by that protest with thousands of people marching on the streets of Hong Kong on Sunday, they're not quite convinced of this.